What's happening, sports fans? Welcome back to another episode of Mama and Papa Joe. Here's the second of our holiday protein ideas, a pork picnic shoulder, a great way to feed a large amount of people on a budget. Let's check this out. Before we get to work on that pork picnic, what I've got here is a homemade green seasoning that I've unthawed. And a green seasoning is just the base of a variety of herbs. This is frozen. Once I made this, you were talking yellow onions, green peppers, some ginger, garlic, scallions. Just Google, that's all I did. And then I use the herbs that I like. And then it is processed in a blender into a kind of a fine paste. I put it on a sheet pan and then froze it, cut it up, wrapped it in saran wrap. And it just goes in my freezer for use. And it doesn't last long because you can use this in soups, stews, beans, anything. So I've got 2 pieces out that's thawed, and these are all raw veggies. I've come up with a bright idea of injecting this into this pork picnic. Now I'm hoping that everything here is small enough chunks or small enough pieces that they won't get clogged. Because they're raw, I'm just going to cook it slightly. And guess what? My leftover from last week, Tony's, I'm going to add to it. So I'm going to be injecting this pork picnic with a ton of goodness. I'm just going to heat this up for a couple of few minutes. All right, here she is, ladies and gentlemen. An awesome looking pork picnic shoulder, skin on, weighing in right at 11 pounds, a little over 11 pounds. So this is another great way, man, to feed a large group of people on a budget. 24 bucks for that, you can't beat it. We're gonna get a better look at this. Let me get it to the sink. I'm gonna rinse it off with some vinegar and get it dried. All right, folks, so here's our 11-pound baby girl. I've deheated it with my torch. You can see a little darker there from that hot torch. There isn't going to be a whole lot of prep. What I will be doing, though, is removing or lifting the skin. Trimming is going to be pretty much minimal. I saw a blood vessel. If I can get that, I will. If not, I'm not going to slit it. So what I want to do, folks, is just lift this skin, peel it back to about here. I'm not going to take it off completely. Ideally, I will do it without cutting into the skin. If I happen to, it's not going to be the end of the world. I've got my cut-resistant gloves underneath my disposables. All right, I'm going to call that good. Our injection is in the freezer cooling down. I'll go grab that real quick. I had to break out the big boy, my Dr. Doolittle, because this injection is just a little bit thicker than my ordinary injector can handle. And the reason I pull the skin back is because I definitely don't want to get any holes poked into it. And this is such a thick piece of meat. In order to hit it from every direction, I would have to go through the skin. But if it was something you didn't feel like you needed to do, then you wouldn't have to worry about it. Trying to get every last drop out of here. We're going to start seasoning now with some 16 mesh. And just like last week, my Goya. And I'm using this Goya because I'm not looking for much of a dark crust. I'm looking for something just more golden roasted. So something without chilies or paprika. Same thing. It's a large piece of meat, folks. Season it well, because whatever you put on it has to carry it through to the inside when you slice it or pull it. This is going to be sitting overnight in the fridge. We'll pull that skin back. And because I lifted the skin, folks, I'm just a little concerned that it may want to draw up. You don't want a wrinkled skin, because the hopes here is that we're going to be able to get this skin nice and crispy in the end. And the wrinkles will definitely get in the way of that happening. So we've got 9 pins, and we'll make sure we pull 9 pins before we get to eating. All right, so what I want to do now, folks, is clean this skin off. This is a little white vinegar. This helps to draw some moisture out along with the salt that we're going to put on here. We're going to come back with some kosher salt. Don't worry, folks, it's not going to be over salted. So I've got my rack there. Make sure I'm getting some air circulation. In the fridge overnight, and we'll get ready for cooking tomorrow. All right, folks, here we are. We've been out of the fridge for about an hour and a half. This is a large piece of meat. So you want to bring it to room temperature to a significant degree. We want to make sure that we're good and dry. Right now, our oven is preheated to 325 degrees. We're going to check this to see if we need to do any touch-ups underneath. We'll come right back with our Goya. Touch things up just a hair. Again, trying to keep it off of the skin. Remember I told you yesterday, it's a large piece of meat. There isn't a whole lot of salt in this Goya. And this is our pan that we're going to be roasting in. So in here, I'm going to be placing a little piece of rosemary dried. This is a whole large yellow onion, 7 or 8 cloves of garlic that I smashed, 2 stalks celery, 3 fairly large carrots, and some whole peppercorns. Some chicken stock, be 3/4 of this 2 quarts, and some dry white wine, a good 1.5 cups. We're going to try to maintain some liquid in the bottom of this during the entire cook. All right, that's not too bad. And just a little more salt. Continue drawing moisture out of this skin during the cook. These pins really did their job. Let's head to the oven. So once again, we're preheated to 325. I'm going pretty much in the middle of the oven. So we're looking to get this to about 180 degrees before we really start the high heat to work on the skin. I'm thinking it's going to take between 3 and 4 hours. We'll come back here in about 2 hours just to check, make sure our liquid has not evaporated. 325. 2 hour mark, folks. Let's take a look. All right, folks, we are looking good. Just giving you a shot of the backside. Getting that great color. Our liquid is still looking good in the bottom. So I'm still thinking we're going to have close to another 2 hours. We'll come back in here and give or take an hour and a half. All right, folks. Man, we are at just about 6 hours. I was way under my estimated time. And we finally reached what I think is where we want to be. All right, so we're pushing 178, 182 in different areas. So now is going to be the time where we crank our oven up. We're going to crank it to about 475. Oh, she looks good. Our gravy down there is still nice. I haven't had to add anything to it. The only thing I might have to do here once this oven reaches temperature is to rotate to make sure we're getting even crisping up. Maybe 20 minutes, I hope, once we reach that temperature. All right, folks, we've given this about 25 minutes. I've done a rotation to try to get completely crisp. We're good. Beautiful. We're going to get it out of here for a rest and get this gravy started. Wow. That's beautiful. And we're just going to pour out all this goodness. Oh. You remember, folks, we got all the goodness from these veggies. And then we've got some wine and some chicken stock in addition to everything from that pork. So this is going to be delicious. Going to put it into a fat separator. give it a few minutes and we'll get this gravy train on the road. All right, folks, our fat is separated. I've got my pan heating. I'm going to use some oil from this picnic to get started. So let's say 4 tablespoons. This is a 1/4 cup. Not sure how much I'm going to use just yet. I always say that and I end up using the whole thing. There we go. And you will cook this as long as you need to. All depends on what kind of color you're looking for. I don't want too dark a gravy. All right, folks, this has been about 8 minutes, and I think this is the color that I want. And just start pouring off some of the goodness. Turn down to a low. That's the perfect color right there, man. Mama says the salt is perfect. Just gonna add a little pepper. Nice chunk of butter to finish. My stove is off. And just a little chopped parsley. And we're good to go. We've given this a good half an hour. And I can still feel some heat, man. But
I'm ready to eat.
Wow, look at her. We got all our pins out. Oh. Now we got a bone right there. Folks, look at these juices coming out of here. All right, one more. One more.
I like that.
Wow. I think that's going to be enough for Mama and I.
Hey, hey.
Here you go.
Cheers.
Cheers, babe. Love you.
Cheers.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Wow. Oh, there's a nice little heat from that Tony's. Folks, I'm here to tell you, not a difficult cook. It's lengthy, but maybe you want to crank it up to start to 350 instead of 325. If you've got the time, low and slow, man, will definitely work. I love that injection that I created. I love the seasoning that I used, that Goya. This is a winner. Your guests are going to be so happy if you were to do this. 24 bucks, 11 pounds. This would feed a lot of people. Wow. Mom and I are about to throw down. I want to thank you guys and gals as usual for hanging out with Mama and Papa Joe. We really appreciate it. Be on the lookout for another video coming very soon. And as always, Mom and I want you guys to take care of yourselves, love each other, and we'll see you when we see you. Holla.